In the forests of old Russia, there lived a woman whom even the dawn, the sun, and the night obeyed. Her name was Baba Yaga. For centuries, she has been one of the most famous figures in Slavic folklore. Sometimes she appears as a terrifying witch, sometimes as a guardian of ancient wisdom, and sometimes as something far stranger. Today's story is one of the best known folk tales of Eastern Europe, the tale of Baba Yaga and a young woman named Vasilisa. Long ago, in the forests of old Russia, there lived a young woman named Vasilisa. When she was still a child, her mother fell gravely ill. Sensing that her time was near, she called Vasilisa to her bedside and placed a small doll in her hands. "Keep this doll with you always," she said. "If you ever find yourself in great trouble, give it a little food and ask the doll for help. She will guide you when I no longer can." Not long afterwards, Vasilisa's mother passed away. Vasilisa treasured the little doll and kept it close to her at all times. Years later, her father remarried. Her new stepmother and her two stepsisters treated her cruelly. Vasilisa was kind, hard-working, and beautiful, and for that reason they envied her. From dawn until night, she was given every chore in the household. Whenever she felt overwhelmed, she would feed the little doll a few crumbs, and somehow things became easier. One evening, the stepmother devised a cruel plan. She extinguished every lamp in the house. Darkness filled every corner. Then she turned to Vasilisa. "There is no fire left," she said. "Go into the forest and bring back fire from Baba Yaga." At the mention of the name, Vasilisa felt a chill. Everyone knew the stories of Baba Yaga. They said that who entered Baba Yaga's forest rarely returned. But she had no choice. Before leaving, she fed her little doll. The doll seemed to come alive in her hands. "Do not be afraid," it whispered. "I am with you." That evening, Vasilisa entered the forest. The deeper she walked, the stranger the world became. Towering trees blocked the sky. Twisted roots curled across the ground. Mist drifted between the trunks. And all around her lay an unsettling silence. Suddenly, a rider dressed entirely in white appeared. Mounted on a white horse, he sped past her like a flash of light. Moments later, darkness began to fade. Dawn had arrived. Vasilisa looked back, but the rider had vanished. Later, she saw another rider. He wore red and rode a red horse. It seemed as though sunlight itself shone around him. He thundered through the forest, and as he passed, the sun rose into the sky. The forest was filled with light. As evening approached, a third rider appeared, dressed in black and riding a black horse. He moved through the trees like a living shadow. When he disappeared into the forest, night descended. The woods sank once more into darkness. At last, Vasilisa reached a clearing, and there she stopped. Before her stood the most unusual hut. It was not built upon ground. It stood on two enormous chicken legs. Slowly, it turned as though it were alive. Around it stood a fence lined with human skulls. Their empty eyes glowed in the darkness. Then Vasilisa heard a strange sound above her. She looked up. A giant mortar was flying through the sky. Seated inside was an old woman. Her wild grey hair streamed behind her. In one hand she held a pestle, in the other a broom with which she swept away her tracks. This was Baba Yaga. The old woman descended before her. Her eyes were sharp and penetrating. They seemed to see right into Vasilisa's heart. "Why have you come?" Baba Yaga asked. "I need fire," Vasilisa replied respectfully. A faint smile crossed the old woman's face. "You shall have fire. But first, you must work." The next day, Baba Yaga gave her impossible tasks. Huge piles of grains had to be sorted, the house had to be cleaned, the food had to be prepared, and everything had to be finished before nightfall. Vasilisa stared at the work in despair. This was an impossible task. That evening, she fed the little doll and then lay down to sleep. During the night, magic filled the hut. The doll came to life. Grains were sorted into neat piles, brooms swept the floor, pots stirred over the fire. By morning, every task had been completed. The same thing happened the next day and the day after. Baba Yaga soon became suspicious. Finally, she asked, "Who is helping you?" Vasilisa answered softly, "My mother's blessing." For a moment, Baba Yaga fell silent. Then Vasilisa gathered her courage. "There is something I wish to ask. On my journey here, I saw 3 riders, one white, one red, and one black. Who were they?" Baba Yaga fixed her gaze on Vasilisa, and she replied, "They are my servants." Vasilisa was astonished. The old woman continued, "The white rider is dawn. The red rider is the sun. And the black rider is night." Vasilisa said nothing, but a question formed in her mind. Who was this woman really? Was she a mere witch or something far ancient? For if dawn, sun, and the night themselves served her, then Baba Yaga's power was way greater than any ordinary magician. At that moment, Vasilisa realized that she had not merely entered a witch's home, she had crossed into the domain of an ancient, mysterious power. After a while, Baba Yaga spoke again. "A mother's blessing. I do not care for such things." She reached to the fence, removed one skull. A strange fire burned within its eyes. "Take this. It contains the fire you seek." Vasilisa took the skull, and then she began her journey home. The burning skull illuminated her path through the darkness. Yet there was something unusual about its light. It seemed to reveal more than the forest. It seemed to reveal the truth itself. And when she arrived home, her stepmother and stepsisters gathered around her. But the fire within the skull saw what lay hidden in their hearts. Their envy, their cruelty, their hatred, their greed. And the magical fire consumed them. Vasilisa alone remained unharmed, for the fire found no cruelty within her, only courage and endurance. In time, Vasilisa began a new life. She was no longer the same young woman who had entered the forest. She had become wiser, stronger, and she was forever changed by her journey. And so, here ends the tale of Vasilisa and Baba Yaga. Yet, the mystery of Baba Yaga remains. Who was she truly? A witch? A spirit of the forest? Or some memory of some ancient power preserved in folklore? The story offers no clear answer. But one thing is certain, for generations This tale has been told and retold across Eastern Europe. And even today, when people think of the forests of old Russia, many still remember a hut standing upon chicken legs, a mortar flying through the night sky, and mysterious Baba Yaga who dwelt deep within the woods. Hope you liked the story. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe, like and share if you like this story.